Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. I am Salome Chung, CEO of Prism for Enterprises, and we are in the School of Small Business. Today, I thought I would do a video for you regarding the topic of funding. Oftentimes, businesses receive funding, or their initial source of funding is when they start up, but they do not pay sufficient attention, in my opinion, to when along their small business journey will they need additional funding. They may or they might not, but it is something to consider when you're doing your business planning. Some of the things you might need funding for could be new equipment. Maybe you want to do some massive marketing, maybe expansion, or maybe somewhere down the line, you decide you want to do some acquisitions. You will need funding for that. Now, if you as a business owner find yourself constantly funding your business from personal funds or with credit cards, that might be a sign that you need additional funding for cash flow purposes. Now, the realm of business funding is quite large. You have the traditional sources of funding, such as your banks, SBA, venture capitalists, angel investors, and then you have your non-traditional sources of funding, where you might do some peer-to-peer lending, or you might do some crowdfunding. These are just some options that are open to business owners at the moment. But let us say none of these approaches to funding has worked for you thus far. If you're doing SBA lending, contrary to what new business owners know, is that the SBA does not grant loans. They guarantee loans that are processed through commercial banks. Venture capitalists oftentimes want some part of your business for them to give you some cash inflow. Angel investors will take or not take a stake of your business, and they are not that strict about taking control of your business. But today I want to speak to the space that we call alternate funding. And by alternate funding, I mean these are normally, typically, mainly found online. You've got your fintech companies such as PayPal. Some people use cryptocurrency as a source of funding. Then you might go to a community-based organization for microlending. Some of these are funded by the SBA. Some of these are funded by the relevant county authorities or state authorities. Sometimes you might seek out a strategic partnership. Strategic partners provide you access to products, the products they're in, staffing. They might want some of your distribution rights and future sales. Strategic partnerships are typically in your business space. So for example, if you're in technology, a larger business or corporation that's in the same technology space might offer to be your strategic partner and provide you with a lot of the resources that they have that you don't, which will be really a boost for a small business, because you're not just getting cash, you're also getting mentorship and support. You also have invoice financing. And invoice financing is typically used to provide a business with cash flow. And the provider of such financing often wants to have some sort of control over your future receivables. And that is how you would repay them when your customers pay. Those are some of the options available for alternate financing for small business. You also might have seek out microloans via companies like Cabbage. And these microloans come through not just Cabbage as a online lender, but it also comes from nonprofit organizations. And last but not least, we have merchant cash advance. Now this I would advise that you make as a last resort, because merchant cash advances are very expensive. The interest rate is really high, and they often want the rights to a portion of your credit or debit card sales. So for those of you who are really strapped for cash, this might be an option, but one that you should consider very carefully. Now, I've told you what the types of alternate fundings are as they compare to traditional and non-traditional sources of financing. Now, I will just briefly tell you what are some of the benefits of alternate financing. Number one, you have an invested partner, someone who can bring you instant clients. They can provide you with sources that you need to analyze your business, access to their media network, as well as their contacts. These lending options provide you with market credibility as well, because someone who is already established and known in the marketplace is now aligned with your business. You will also get infrastructure help. And as I mentioned before, business guidance. You get their mentorship, you get guidance as to the direction your business should or should not be taking. And these sources of alternate financing, the providers typically have a hands-off approach, as opposed to the venture capitalist or the angel investors that wants to have a stake and then a say-so into how you run your business. So I want to say that I thought this topic was sufficiently important and needed for business owners, because it is not just when you're starting a business, as I mentioned before, that you need funding. For those of you who are maybe want to go global, or maybe you want to acquire businesses, as I mentioned before, within your particular region, I would say this approach to funding should be attached to your business plan, so that you know when and how you should procure funding. I would advise that you not wait for when the need is upon you before you're scrambling to figure out where to go, which option is best for you, and what particular risk you should take for the reward that you expect. So these are just some tips I wanted to share with you about how to fund your business, not just at the beginning, but as you go along your business journey. For further tips or more in-depth explanation as to business funding, the different resources. Oh, and I forgot one other thing that's very important, grant funding. There are thousands of grants worldwide. They're nationwide, regionally, and this is a source of free money, provided that you have the patience to explore and access grant funding. For grant funding, there are quite a few new online platforms that have emerged that provide services that help you avoid the minutia and the investment of time into finding a grant that's suitable for your business. So having said all that, I want to thank you for tuning in today, and I hope you find this information useful. For further, more in-depth information, I will put some resources in the description. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, the Prism for School of Small Business. Share this video, leave us your comments, and more importantly, give us a like. That really helps us to reach others like you who might benefit from this information. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you again, same time, same place, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And until then, thank you for tuning in and have a blessed day. Bye.